All right, I'm gonna do a lazy man. I was listening to Kinda Culty, YouTube channel. He was talking about Wandavision, episode 5, and he was going on about Pietro, Evan Peters, Pietro the Quicksilver from Fox, and he mentioned Chthon, and that's a character that I don't think I'm familiar with. I'm quite sure I'm not, because everybody's screaming Mephisto. But he said it possibly could be Chthon, Chthon. So I did some looking up of Chthon and find out that Chthon is an elder god. And I'm like, well, what's an elder god? Earth has, Marvel has a pantheon of gods. From the very beginning, the wiki says, it says billions of years ago, shortly after the formation of the Earth, the demiurge, the sentient life force of Earth's biosphere, seeded the young planet with its essence, creating a race of elder gods, the foremost of which were Chthon and his siblings Set, Gaia, and Ashtor. The elder gods proliferated across the planet and ruled it for 1,000,000 years. Chthon spent his time studying the mystical forces of the universe and eventually became the Earth's first black magician. Okay, and I don't know what black magic is. I assume that it's a form of negative magic. I don't think he's talking about his skin color. um, but reading through the wiki, um, I think Chthon actually fell into madness along with Set, I believe, and Gaia and Ashtor did not. And so Gaia actually remained in control of the earth. But Gaia and Demiurge had a child and gave birth to Adam, which is Atum, of course. And the first of the race of the new gods, Adam went around the earth and slaying the demons and absorbing their energy. Okay, if Marvel decides to use the Demiurge angle and go that deep into the pantheon of gods, as if so many different uh, DC and Marvel were looking to go deeper into the lore of their universes. If they decide to use Demiurge and Gaia, they're going to have to do something about the incest factor of Demiurge mating with Gaia, who he created. That he's the father of Gaia, and then he mates with Gaia and has a son. I mean, that's a little weird for Marvel, but we'll see how they decide to proceed. Chthon, it says here, Chthon managed to escape the God Eater by creating another dimension, the Flickering Realms, aka Calais or Other Realm, along with his brother Set. Serpent Sea, the Flickering Realms were the first two inner planes, dimensions located in the close vicinity of Earth. So they actually left, and then left the planet out of, I guess, some peril that he was in. Okay. Adam then took a monstrous appearance and became the God Eater, so the Demogorg. So Chthon is an actual elder god. He was a spirit. Focuses attention on magic, black magic. When he left a book behind called the Darkhold. Now it seems here that let's see, before he left in the Darkhold, a chamber among the caverns inside the mountain that would be known as Mount Wundagore, Transia, Eastern Europe, Chthon wrote the Darkhold, inscribing all of his arcane knowledge on scrolls made from indestructible parchment and left them behind to serve as a physical link between Earth and his new home should he ever choose to return. Now, he's not supposed to return because he made a deal with Gaia that Gaia can keep the Earth, but obviously he's been jumping back and forth and breaking a promise. But the funny thing I found is that just like DC Comics, Marvel has a Morgan Le Fay. Let's see, in medieval times, Morgan Le Fay formed a cult of mystics around the power of Darkhold and attempted to summon Chthon to do their bidding. Being invited back to Earth by its residents was a loophole in Chthon's pact with the other elder gods, although he was under no obligation to obey his summoners. Realizing their mistakes, Morgan's cult could not fully banish Chthon from Earth as he was in primordial times. Instead, they bound him to a single location on Earth, Mount Wandagore, in what would become the Eastern European nation of Transia. Almost sounds like he's like a vampire. Hmm. So I'm wondering if, because that's Transia, and then you have Transylvania. I don't know anything about Mount Wandagore. Let's click on it and see what that's all about. It's a mountain located in Transian mountain range in the Eastern European country of Transia, overlooking East Transia, the country's capital. It peaks at whatever. It became home of Herbert Wyndham, the geneticist known as the High Evolutioner. Oh, and his new men, sentient semi-humanoid animals, artificial evolved to their current state from the ordinary animals. So my working theory with Chthon, it seems as though Wanda made a deal with somebody, either Agnes or Chthon, and maybe she made a deal with Agnes to help create this world, and they're in on it, and everybody else is not. And Agnes brought in Chthon, who might be Ralph on the back end, and he's the actual power behind Agnes, or Wanda made the deal with Chthon directly to bring back some of the loss that she had. And in doing so, that opens up a dimension of things. That is the replacement for the demonic element, seeing as though Chthon is considered a demon. You have elements like Transylvania come into play, and Wundagore Mountain being there. You have Blade and Morbius, and they might even bring Dracula into the fold, which probably won't. They might reference Dracula and not bring him in, but it would make sense that Chthon would be the glue to bring all that together more than Mephisto because of his Darkhold and so many aspects in WandaVision and coming with Blade are tied to that. And a lot of this stuff could be coming to fore because Asgard fell, and Asgard was a protector of the nine realms. And so I think that the protection of Asgard is now gone. Midgard is left vulnerable. Chthon seems like a better tie than Mephisto. Now, they may bring Mephisto in later, but even saying the devil's in the details, that could be the fact that Mephisto comes in later. Um, when Chthon falls, if he falls, well, he'll eventually fall, but um, it could be a case of Chthon actually being a hybrid of Mephisto and Chthon himself. Just like they made Hela a hybrid of Lady Death and Angelica, I think is her name, from the Marvel Universe, who became Thor's sister, lost sister. So they kind of combined theories there in the MCU to create Hela. And I think they might do the same thing with Chthon, combining maybe Mephisto and Chthon and the High Evolutioner and a few other aspects to create this storyline. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. Oh, look at this. When Blade used the Demogorg page from the Darkhold to summon the other, he appeared before Blade in the form of his mother and offered him a chance to revenge on the supernatural by becoming the new Demogorg, to which Blade immediately accepted and became Switchblade. Well, there you go. There is an actual Blade tie. Chthon. So anyway, there's a wiki, Chthon, for anybody who wants to do a deep dive. I just was curious, and there was no information on Chthon. All right.